Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Good Studio here with Good Show, episode number 33. My name is Semmler. I'll be your host for this evening's show. Joining me on my left is the Harding. How you doing, James?
I'm doing very well, Semmler. Thanks for inviting me.
Glad to have you here, man. It's always a pleasure when you're on the show.
Such a prestigious show.
You always got such great opinions.
Mingles is bunking up with Scriff. She's pregnant, by the way.
Traitor.
She's definitely pregnant. Everyone was calling her fat the other day on the stream, and I was pretty upset. She was upset too, but I think she's pregnant. She's definitely pregnant.
She is.
She's pregnant again.
Is my mic plugged in? Yeah, my mic's plugged in. What's wrong?
It's
echo or something.
I got an echo. Maybe it's because I'm so loud.
Bring trans back.
All I know is that we started the stream, and as soon as the stream starts, Scriff goes, "Oh shit!" And that's like the worst thing to hear as soon as you start the show. But yeah, I know. We're gonna get into that.
I'm keeping the kittens, by the way. I'm not giving them away.
We're not giving them away this time.
No, fuck that, man. I love the kittens.
Dude, you didn't eat them last time?
We're gonna get thrown out by the landlady.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna when Wagner and Singh get their apartments, they're gonna
keep them.
some kittens too. There's kittens everywhere.
All right, guys. Well, in the corner, we actually have two guests this week. We have Hellspawn and Newman making his triumphant return. You weren't on the show last week, Newman. What are you going to say for yourself?
Well, I had a better time than being here.
Saw you in the chat. At least you didn't have
I was
the
in the
good
chat
grades.
stirring people. I was stirring shit up.
Who clothes shops for you?
His girlfriend.
It's not you.
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a dapper individual, man. Look at that. He's even got a wristwatch and everything. Matches his shoes. Look at that.
Holy shit.
Damn.
It's easy.
Strong.
Strong.
And Hellspawn. What's up with the t-shirt? Arch Enemy.
Yeah, it's a good metal band.
Oh, is that it? Did you hear about the news that some metal singer, actually got acquitted for charges of murder? There's something like that on Reddit.
I think it happens in Kiss was founded, I guess. Happens all the time.
Yeah. Happens all the time. All right, well, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into heavy metal here, even though Sweden, Norway, all those guys got a lot of good bands. Go and find them if you want. We're going to start off the show today with some of the general news, some of the general topics we got. Oh, thanks for asking. Not too bad. You know, just doing our thing. Just doing my thing.
What have you been playing today? You were upstairs screaming, by the way, really loud.
Dota and CS:GO.
Okay,
bit of both. Dota, we were doing a roaming strat. Except the problem is that our roaming strat revolves around Witch Doctor and Lion, and then we even throw in fucking Shadow Shaman. Except that I usually play the Lion because I get the stun off first. Except that I gave my friend Lion, so it's like the initiate, and I'm all like, "You're not in the right place. The bitch is gonna be here." I walk into it. The guy's there. We don't have a stun because the guy's like 2 minutes behind me. Can't count on people, man. Yeah. You can't count on people.
Don't worry, people. I won't ask him again how it is. My mistake.
Dota is a great game, but it's very bad for my blood pressure. Whatever, fuck that. Speaking of blood pressure, David Tings has certainly got to be pretty high right now because the big announcement from IPL is that IPL 6 has in fact been cancelled, and they have released an official statement here boiling down to, we're out of money. So we're going to go ahead and throw it to our corner because Hellspawn really loves this subject. He loves to talk about IPL and IPL 6.
No, I don't love the subject at all, but seems that I was right.
Okay, basically,
sorry,
last week on the show, we talked about IPL, and Hellspawn came out with big statements. He was like, IPL is probably going to go under. I don't even think they're going to do IPL 6. You know,
that was pretty much
I said they shouldn't do it, but I think they might do if they try to sell it.
Anyway, so IPL 6 is a big LAN event. It's a carry-on of, you know, the IPL brand, which was IGN's into esports, which started how many years ago? It feels like a year and a half or something. Doesn't feel that long. But either way, IGN, very big gaming website, doing these events, and now they've had to cancel one. Of course, the story in this as well, the IGN changed owners.
Yes.
There's a lot of companies under it as well. or companies with it, and then basically, they seem to be like hacking and slashing at people's jobs. And so, last week, basically, Hellspawn goes, oh yeah, it's going under. It's big statements from Hellspawn. I said, nah, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be here, and they'll probably do a whole year before anything gets really shitty. But what I didn't know is that Hellspawn fucking set me up, because he had inside sources, and he sat on the show with inside sources and didn't tell me, and I just thought he was being an idiot and just saying stupid things like he likes to do, speculating. But actually he knew. So you set me the fuck up, and that's why you did. You knew.
Tried to cover it up.
You tried to cover it up, but you knew, right? You knew.
No,
IPL.
I didn't know. As I said on the show, I thought that they would do IPL 6 or might do it, but I thought it was a bad decision. So
but you had sources come to you and tell you about. Yeah, you told me off camera, man.
You had something.
anyway,
Actually, I think I remember me predicting them to go under in like our last show last year.
November.
And people were calling me stupid then as well.
Mm-hmm. I
win,
dude. Look at you. You're just a hipster.
You're like exactly. He's like the hipster.
You're the hipster of esports. But yeah, so basically,
cool.
people who booked flights and stuff.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I booked flights actually. I was going to go over there, but it's okay. Put my credit card down, so you can always get your money back on your credit card, unless of course you give it to a woman, and then you won't ever be seeing it again. So I'm okay. That money's coming back. But yeah, people won't be getting their, obviously, flights. In the Cosmopolitan Hotel, you can get a refund if you booked on credit card or cash randomly. That seems a bit
I've read
weird.
about people.
The only time I ever spend cash at a fucking hotel
Vegas.
is when, I'm having company that I probably shouldn't have. So overall, it's massively shit for esports. It's just hugely shit. Because it's like IGN were this big company. We're like, we were like, woohoo, IGN, and then they fucked up.
Well, I mean,
or got fucked up.
First of all, I've read stories about people traveling from like Finland and Australia. So these are the people you can probably feel a bit sorry for.
It's the people who booked long distance flights that are like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like they're going to refund teams and admins and stuff. So that's something, I guess. But I mean, for the fans, they can't get shit back usually for the flights unless they can rebook them and stuff. But I don't think it's such a big blow for esports. I mean, losing IPL might be, it's not good, but they're still going to do coverage, I think. So they're going to use IGN as I guess they're going to compete with GameSpot, try and do what they do basically, and that's good as well. We maybe not need IPL as an event.
but still, I think it's bad that such a big organization in America or once again fails during a prime time. So I think that esports 2011, 2012, also 2013 has been very lucrative. You actually been able to being good years. And if IPL can't get it flying, who would like to invest for future? Although I would say it's good that MLG and others in America will not have to overtop IPL, because I think that, for example, MLG was really stressed because of how fast IPL established and got a lot of attention. Also, they don't have to compete about, for example, Riot money or Blizzard money or other publisher money. I think though that American teams need more events. Maybe MLG is not enough, or in the ASL it's not enough. You need to have a little bit more over the year. I think in Europe we have a lot of independent events that get a lot of attention, and there are not as many in America compared to how many live in America.
I don't think they need more like major events. I think they need more leagues, more like online stuff.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need ESEA to do more. I think more games and just not do Counter-Strike stuff, and just keep expanding.
That's kind of what it seems to be like. It's the online sphere that's lacking. Seeing as how now they're down to kind of the same thing as in Europe. I mean, you have ESL and you have DreamHack in Europe.
Yeah, but you still have like Iron Squid, you have ESWC, you had Asus ROG last year, and you have so many different events.
Most countries have one big event, and the US doesn't have I guess the I don't know.
And ASL and MLG are basically it.
The Europe's got.
Yeah, and you have some one-offs or two-offs like Lone Clash or so, but I wouldn't. If you compared Iron Squid to Lone Clash, I think Iron Squid is so far ahead of them in giving so much more content, for example. So, and also America, I mean, it's easier to reach a big budget because American budgets are so big. In Europe, you have to reach, a Swedish or Nordic budget, and German, French, Russian, English, so on and so forth. So it's easier to bring in cash for an organization, and
I think they need more stability in the US, basically. Longer lasting leagues, longer lasting tournaments.
Yeah, MLG has been around. This is 10th year though, so.
Yeah. I mean, they're peaking really fast, but then they're falling down again. Usually, that's what happens in America.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to focus on the IGN IPL side of things. I mean, we all know MLG, what they're doing at NASL, and they both seem to be sticking around, MLG especially. But yeah, just sure, the online section is pretty poor. And their kind of influx of professional players compared to Europe and Asia is pretty poor from America. But focusing on why do you think IPL, where do you think this decision came from? Was it, obviously you've got new owners. You've got David Ting that, apparently had, done the best he could with bringing in sponsors. They had a big sponsor background. But they also had publishers, and then one of their publishers that worked with them quite closely was Riot. And now, of course, Riot are doing their own kind of in-house tournament season, LCS. I don't even know what that stands for.
League of Legends Championship Series.
Yeah. That was a financial blow, probably, because IPL maybe aren't doing the League of Legends over and over. But didn't they have that confirmed anyway? League of Legends and StarCraft 2 for IPL.
They hadn't announced it at least, and they had qualifiers.
Yeah, League of Legends had always been a really big part of IPL.
Where do you think it went wrong for IPL, if you think it even went wrong, or do you think it was a case of just someone chopping some of the fat off the company?
I think that the error was IPL 3 when they spent way too much money and they had to cut. So I think that David Finn got his eyes on him from his heads. Also, I think that they couldn't bring in publisher money to the right extension they needed, and also I think their online part didn't bring in as much value as they had wished for. I didn't see IGN as the big promoter of new games, for example. I think
Shootmania?
No, but for example, but they didn't bring in the numbers. I didn't see that. Okay, here is a publisher. I have a new game. This is competitive. Let's give it to IPL and see if they can, make a big splash on it. I didn't see them having that kind of force. I think that some other, I think Machinima or GameSpot had better reach in those kind of broadcast things. And also I think that, I think they have spent way too much money.
Yeah. Looking at the cost structure, I mean, the amount of money they spent, and then someone else coming in from an external company watching those
money
numbers.
they spent until you know. You mean
their
own company
I'm not
money
sure exactly.
Or sponsors' money as well?
Because
that's different.
I mean,
from our side, do the biggest event in the world if Red Bull are paying for it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're obviously spending more than they were getting in, of course.
Okay.
Because they were trying to grow faster than MLG and grow faster than anyone else, basically. And I think when someone is coming in from an external point of view, that they just bought IGN, and then they see IPL, massive waste of money almost. It's easy.
Yeah, and of course the landscape with, for example, like we said, Riot and also other publishers. I mean, for example, they weren't a part of WCS Blizzard last year, while the other companies, NASL and MLG was. I don't know, and Riot thing I think was a big blow. And I think that also they didn't bring in the publishers that they were expecting. I think maybe that was the major problem.
Yeah, I mean, if you come in from an external source and you see the cost structure, and then you see the future for them with no publisher support, and
I don't know. We're saying no publisher support, but they did just bring in Capcom, which is a momentous event. And anyway,
but you don't know if they've got money from it or not.
I wouldn't even think Capcom would have paid any money for it. I just think they would have given them a license because they're trusted brand, IGN. They do a lot of gaming. Obviously, Capcom want nice reviews and
speculation
and all that kind of shit. But yeah, I felt that the amount of kind of publisher attention that they were able to get. One of the only publishers at their events, live by the way, with a booth, was actually Bloodline Champions. I didn't recommend it.
Really?
But Bloodline Champions
went
to IPL 4 just to have a showing of their game in an area at the event. And it should have been much more of that for IGN.
A lot of booths and showing games, yeah.
Huh?
A lot of booths and showing games.
Yeah, exactly.
Sell
Because you've got
space,
a load of gamers just walking around, you know, either Atlantic City or Vegas. Yeah, I definitely felt that they didn't do what they could have done with publishers in selling them something different than the norm. Because the norm is we're a website, buy some advertising space or whatever. And now we're a live event, but we're not an expo. You know, not was it? What are the gaming events in America?
Well, you got like PAX, for example.
And, you know, you're not that, but they should get the concept. I also felt that their online section was one of the worst I had ever seen. Like, I have a big problem with companies that want to try and fill up their channel page with a monotonous amount of material by rebroadcasting and creating projects that don't have any kind of substance to them. And I think a lot of people fall victim to this in esports just due to the fact that they think if they get to report big numbers on Twitch TV for the amount of people that watch and all that stuff, yeah, sure. Because I just felt that whenever I went onto the IPL streaming page and I saw something, I'm like, I don't know where this came from. I don't know where it's going. It's a rebroadcast. I don't know how many times it's been rebroadcast. You know, and it just, for me, it was a huge turn-off to watch anything IPL. Like, I would even watch some of the NASL stuff if I stayed up that late, because that was fine. MLG, I always like tuning in just because I always find that they make stupid mistakes, and that's entertaining enough. ESL do their thing, but no one really notices it a lot.
But I think also IPL...
I think they fucked up their online section. It was just
like
boring.
It's like going on one of these really random football channels that basically show rematches.
Yeah, exactly.
Reruns of matches from like
it was
2 years ago.
Eurosport.
And they spread so thin also with so many different names and concepts. Like, I think they had 30 different names or projects, like, you know, team leagues and hot this and shoot this and grave, you know, so many different concepts. Instead of focusing on IPL, the main event, getting all the online content with those games leading into IPL, and then maybe, you know, have something else named so you understand, okay, this is a promotional title or this is a special case or something like that. It was so hard to understand from all these different names what you actually was expecting.
Like, I thought David Ting was I still think he's a super nice bloke.
Yeah.
I think he's a great at working, but the one thing I didn't like about David Ting, he was an engineer. I don't think you can have an engineer lead up the vision of an esport company in terms of what you're doing and why you're doing it. I mean, there's plenty of examples in business where you've got your guy that, you know, does a lot of the bulk work and makes sure everything's going. Then you've got your slightly crazy one that comes up with concepts, ideas, and then they work together to make it happen. And David Ting just didn't have like that much of a vision. Like, I remember at IPL 4, they had these kind of group stages that didn't matter, and they didn't matter at all.
For seed.
Yeah, for seed. And so what Sir Scoots recommended was you put a little bit of prize money at the end of each group stage. Like, the total amount was like $6,000. It was like $1,000 per group, or $1,500. And then suddenly people were like, "Oh, I can win $1,000." And then all of a sudden people made those group stages entertaining. And it's like, Sir Scoot is like, that's how you make that entertaining. Yeah. And then all of a sudden group stages mattered, but it was announced really late. And
it was really messy.
How do you not think about that in the first place? And then when I went there one time for the grand finals, they wanted to put their commentators on the grand finals, and Apollo was there, and I was there.
I remember.
And I was just like, David, I was like, no offense, this is your money shot. I was like, your commentators are great, and I understand that you want to give them a chance to grow and become a better as commentary, but they can earn that within the studio. You shouldn't take what is obviously the best commentator you've got at your whole event off the finals, because people are just going to backlash you. But he's thinking about, oh, I'm going to build the future with these guys rather than what's the correct thing to do now. And that was pretty stupid. But yeah, I
don't fully agree with that though. But I know why you're saying that. I mean, there's a point in that, but I don't know. Well, it's got a point as well in building the future.
No. But like, building the future is great and stuff. But the point is like, that can come from when they work with the online section. But the online section wasn't good enough anyway to bring note to people's attention. So, and they had plenty of times to cast. But I just didn't agree with all his kind of the building of the brand. Like, IPL to me didn't have, and this isn't why it would have gone under, but didn't have a core brand like identity apart from we're the cool esport event in Vegas. You know what I mean? That was it. But it could have been so much more. With the power of IGN behind, you could have been doing lots of content around publishers. You could have been doing lots of like giveaways and stuff. You could have structured your online content in a smarter, more viewable way. And I don't think he focused on the right things. But those things wouldn't have necessarily enabled you to sell better to your sponsors, because sponsors at the end of the day care about numbers.
Yeah, but if you bring in a lot of exhibitors to your events, you can basically run the event off of that. Yeah. If you look at someone like Eurogamer in Europe, or they do UK events and they have the Eurogamer Expo and stuff like that, and then people run esports shows inside of that expo. I mean, it's easy.
It's a little bit like DreamHack.
Connect, so yeah.
But like, I mean, their statement was pretty funny. One of the final lines was something like, "Look forward to the next exciting chapter."
Where did it say that?
I think it was on Team Liquid. On the Team Liquid one, it was like at the end, it was like, "Look forward to the next exciting chapter," and I'm like, yeah.
Really
someone in comments said, quoted that and said, "Yeah, fuck you."
I think there are some more parts into this also. That first of all, like all the employees, what will they do? Which kind of like new projects, which competitors, what kind of. I mean, they do have a lot of talent that could go into other things.
They might stay at IGN because they're launching this coverage.
Could be, but of course they're going to cut down people. They need to cut down people. Also, one thing that I found, like maybe one of the most interesting part, was that the press release on IPL's site was different from the Team Liquid post. And in the Team Liquid post, they write that when we launched IPL 2 years ago, the esport landscape was very different, with far fewer events than we have now. Yes. Today, game publishers are holding their own tournaments, which is why we are not ready to commit to the resources at this time to run another major independent event.
That's already changing it quite a bit from what they have on their main site. That's a massive change, actually.
So, what I'm reading from this is that publishers are not acting in the same way as did when we launched, and we cannot work with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to make it perfectly clear for everybody, you have what Hellspawn just said about the Team Liquid post. What's on the official website, that line picking it up, is now there are more tournaments than ever before competing for people's time and attention, so we're no longer in a position to commit the resources required to run another major independent tournament. I mean, that was their official.
Yeah. So they cut out the part about game publishers.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's true or not in terms of what they're saying and what happened internally, but the point is, you can do a lot for a very little amount of money if you just think about it before you fucking do it.
Yeah. Like it's the good studio.
Huh?
Like the good studio.
Yeah, we really... we have to. Like, we're tiny. We're nowhere near the size of other people. So when I have X $1,000 and I want to make a show or something, I'm like, do this, bring in that, and then I make something, and it's always paid off for us in a way. But you just have to, like... When you don't have a lot of money, you have to be smarter about it. And I feel that, like, maybe they aimed they didn't even, like, you could have built just a studio, like an online studio for IPL. And you could have had a small amount of team, similar to our size, but not us, obviously. Kevin Knock and all that. You could have started just getting your online content to where you really wanted it. Like, they've got some great projects. You got Mike Ross's Neighborhood was fantastic. Kevin Knock was pretty good at what he did.
Yeah, for sure.
Joshi with the curly hair, he was into Shoot Mania. If you just designed your online structure before you went into these big events, you would have been fine. Like, what were the big events for them? Like, did you need to go that far? Because you could have just had one IPL a year.
Yeah, I mean, they actually did. The first tournament they did, IPL 1, was actually an online tournament. $5,000, but still, I mean, they spent shitloads on it. They flew players in, like, really professionally. They did, like, photo shoots and everything. So from the get-go, they spent a lot of money.
I also think that
really professional.
I also think that when they had, I mean, MLG from the start was more or less only Americans, and then it came a few European, maybe some Korean, like in World of Warcraft or so.
How long has DreamHack been just in Sweden?
Wait. And then I think that NASL, they focused I thought it would be an American league because North American Star League. And then they brought in a lot of Koreans into that. And then IPL, they started with American. I was like really hopeful that this could be the platform for North American teams and players to build on and something to reach out. Instead, what happened was that IPL was just filled with Koreans. MLG was filled with Koreans, and NASL was filled with Koreans. So, like, if you were the 5th best player in EG, you couldn't even enter the tournament, more or less, in any of those 3. So I think that just the American scene in that regard has just crushed themselves. So the American top players are not any good anymore.
True.
That's just a major flaw within the American industry, that they've cut the prize money and the attention from their own players. So they don't have any 0-4, or they don't have any big teams like they had before.
Yeah, that's definitely something to do with their online
tournament. Who basically hasn't been practicing.
Where is Fatality of StarCraft 2 in North America?
I mean, their online kind of presence is really bad. Oddly enough, EG provides probably some of the best American-based tournaments, but they're with everyone in it, with like EG, with like Dota 2 and stuff. But yeah, to sum it up, really, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. We don't really think that the publishers are to blame. You're meant to change your company to stay in the game. So if that's the case, then IGN and IPL fucked up. We don't know if they didn't fuck up and someone's just cutting what they think is the fat of the company. Yeah. It is really bad for esports, because IGN, with a reputation of doing this, and Riot doing it, and everyone looking on from publishers thinking it's going really well, esports got a huge amount of attention because of IGN, as well as people like Riot too. And the next exciting chapter so far, we've heard that people are looking to buy.
Exactly. According to Slasher, or according to Slasher, he contacted me earlier. He's like, people are they're in talks right now, and they're trying to push it through as soon as possible with a potential buyer. So this may not be the last we hear.
Phil didn't fuck them up now by trash talking him for 30 minutes.
Exactly. I was kind of letting you guys go, and I'm just like, but
I don't understand still what the value you're buying.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Within esports, it's very hard to justify what is the value of the company, because it's the people that work there. It's and you can be current one day and not the next day, just based off just what your product is, and you can come up with a new product like that. So I actually think Machinima are one of the ones that might be interested in buying.
Especially when they were interested in buying owned.
When they were interested in buying owned, and I think that that deal would have been a lot of money. And if they want to take over some proper esport content with esport people, they've got Machinima Versus, they've got all this kind of product that they want to get out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Machinima comes in. But any other guesses before we move on?
I'm going to guess DreamHack.
Yeah, DreamHack, really. I mean, it's nothing but speculation at this point. To touch on something related to it, IPL,
actually,
yes, but in Vegas in particular.
Hellspawn tweeted a while back saying he wanted to start something himself. So
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Hellspawn.
Yeah, I'm buying IPL on my own.
It's all that dirty Riot money that we've been getting, isn't it?
I'm going for Machinima. Let's move on now.
Yeah.
But it is huge, guys, and it does suck. And if I was in that company, it would still be running, and it would be awesome.
Well, there is something positive to bring out of it. A club arcade in Vegas, is actually reaching out to the people who have already booked their tickets to the IPL event, especially from the FGC, and they're looking to actually try and put together a little sub-event for the FGC, for the people who are going there, for StarCraft regardless. They have a club there, so they're looking to do something. If you want to learn more about that, if you booked your tickets or whatever, go check out Insert Coins LV on Twitter, and you can check out some potential,
or you
something
can change your
happening.
flight and go to MLG, so
Exactly.
Sundance, for a heavily discounted.
That's exactly the
It
other
just
thing.
feels like when you're down and you're having a bad time.
Sundance is there, he's waiting, and he's going to kick you, man.
Did you say Satan or?
I did say Satan, but
No, I was going to
I can
use
see
like
the
the devil
resemblance,
reference.
yeah.
Like, you're down on your luck. Sign this deal.
But isn't that kind of classical though that you do it? But I think I didn't really like the move of MLG, but I think it's kind of how it's run when your opponent or competitor goes
they're like
down.
vultures. This is what they are. They're like vultures. They're turning in the sky, and they've just noticed a big fat cow that lurched over, and they see the meal.
Right now between IPL, NASL, and MLG, any opportunity to get ahead of the competition. It's really fierce over there.
And MLG are basically, we've already determined this with the Kespa moves,
Let's
etc.
move on.
But definitely want to
Really
move on
good for
from this
MLG.
because we've been talking about it for half an hour. So let's get into another hot topic. Azuba TV has just launched.
Yay!
Yeah.
Have you guys used it at all?
I watched it some.
Yeah. So we'll get into that real quick just to sum this up. Apparently they've partnered with SK Gaming and MYM.
And CLG before.
And CLG before that. So basically what you can find on there, basically LOL. And some StarCraft.
Yeah,
But
it's really tough because it's like Azuba TV come out. Not many people really know the faces behind the companies. You don't really know how much money they're making. Surely you've got to be fucking careful before you sign with them. I mean, no offense, it's like SK were with Owned, some people with Owned. CLG were one of the biggest guys on Owned. How much money do you think they're fucking owed? as far as it was rumored, it was like $250,000 at one point. And you know, and it's just like, and then you've got something stable, Twitch. You got something Azubu. So it's very odd for me to see those guys partnering. If I was partnering with Azubu, I'd be like, I want 40% up front.
Up front, exactly.
Yeah. I'd be like, this isn't going to happen to me again.
Maybe they got it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing,
yeah.
and they probably
New company,
did because
they probably do.
There's so little information available regarding this.
And but in terms of the player seemed fine. The quality was really good. Did they have DVR functionality where you could rewind?
No, apparently they had DVR functionality, but it was in the VODs.
Okay.
So
what?
exactly. Bruno and I were talking about this yesterday. He was like, "Well, they did mention that they had DVR functionality, but when I looked at it, it was only in the VODs that you could actually go back up."
Thing is,
and I'm like, "Isn't that the purpose?"
It's
of a
really
VOD?
hard to know if it's live or VOD. Like when I went into the site, I didn't know
thing
if it's
is just
live
a
or not. And
clusterfuck.
It's very confusing.
You can't see the viewer numbers.
I mean, no chat. But
No chat?
There's chat,
all in
though, isn't
all,
it?
I think it's chat for live.
Yeah, chat for live.
Oh,
Oh,
chat's for
really?
live.
So we just watch everything that wasn't live. But yeah, all in
Winning.
all, it's good to have another company out there do this.
Yeah.
And at least they launched. Some people were speculating if they'd ever get a website up because it was a bit weird.
I looked into it. They're using a system called
apparently you can use it.
Brightcov, which is basically a YouTube competitor from the beginning. Who have now launched live streaming as
There
well.
is live DVR, yeah. I'm sure I used live DVR on that website.
They're
beta
using
or
a white label thing called Brightcov, and it's actually quite good. It's really fast and stuff, but I think they're gonna have a real problem scaling it to the level that Twitch has got. So I mean, I'm guessing for now they're gonna do premium content only for good teams and leagues and stuff.
To
That's
me,
my guess.
it's just strange. This design SK are not the SK that we know about like in the middle of 2000. So not the strongest maybe. And then Meteor Makers, and I don't know what to say, but Meteor Makers has been strange. They had some. They had the partnership with MVP. I don't think they have it anymore. They have a Dota team, right?
It's like they stumble upon
Yeah,
the G7 website.
It's a stumble upon.
Yeah, they went into a time machine. Saw the best teams back in X years.
About CMG are really strong though.
Ocelot, actually, interestingly enough, Ocelot from SK Gaming has his own rights to own partnerships. So he could go to Azuba or he could go to Twitch, even though SK have signed with
I
Azuba.
didn't see Ocelot on Azubu actually.
Yeah,
I saw
that's
some
why
other SK
probably. Yeah,
players.
because he's his own.
Yeah,
He's
his own
big
brand.
enough to be his own. He's his own world.
It's probably bigger than SK.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. His website is Ocelot World.
Ocelote.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the best things I think it came up this morning was that Azubu had copied Twitch TV's
oh yeah,
Exactly.
terms of service, and
left.
best part that they have like replaced some terms like Twitch TV, and they replaced like the emails and stuff like that, but they forgot to copy some other parts. So it's like, for example, they have the address to Justin TV's office, so that's the ones that you are going in a legal agreement with.
I don't understand.
It's so stupid. So it's like,
well, it's just so like.
unprofessional.
It's extremely unprofessional.
You know when you do like a Dota tournament and you think to yourself, it doesn't matter if we tell the Russians if they can have broadcast rights or not. They'll break into the servers. That's fine. Like the Russians will be here to commentate your Dota 2 tournament no matter what.
Yep.
You know, you just deal with it, yeah. And then some of the Chinese or Korean companies that have like this money, they're just like, it doesn't matter what our website or their website looks like or what our terms of use is, it's probably going to be their website any minute now. Same with our clothing line. It's like a clothing line. Like we've sold 87 Good Studio hoodies.
Ooh.
So somewhere around the world, 87 people are looking pimp as fuck.
That's cool.
Yeah, 87 in like a month or something. It's crazy. But of course, you know, give it another month, you can buy it in China for cheaper.
Most likely, yeah.
So that's what it feels like for me, and that's why I don't understand like someone like SK or someone just being like, yeah, okay, unless they had money up front that was in the bank account before they even fucking
Sign the contract.
moved over. I would just like if I signed with them, I'd just be like, right, yeah, you're going to give me this much money.
Both SK and Meteor Makers were on own though, so I mean, it's not like they left Twitch for them. They basically, I guess they got a good offer from Azubu and basically tried it out.
It should also be added that Twitch TV has denied they are not going into legal agreements with the ones signed up for Azubu. I think it's worth mentioning.
But hopefully they do well because we can't afford another own 3D.tv.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need competition.
Yeah.
We've got Switch, we've got the Azubi, we've got this Hash TV, we've got YouTube Live, so it's...
Hash TV looks very own 3D-ish for me.
Yeah, but they're using the same...
The easiest way to compete with Twitch TV is... You know the easiest way to build a company to compete with Twitch, right? All you do is build a website, right?
Copy-paste?
No, just build a website, yeah.
Copy-paste terms of service.
You build a nice website, yeah? And then what you do is you contact IRC. You could go to the owners of QuakeNet, like Matt Adams, I think his name is, and you'd be like, "Yo, dude, we want IRC as our chat background. Could you host us loads of stuff and we'll get you loads of traffic?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, sweet." And then you go to YouTube Live. You build a network on YouTube Live, call it whatever. You take all those YouTube live streams and then you put them there. You put the chat next to it there. And then you go to PayPal and you'd be like, right, let's get subscribe buttons. You go to PayPal, you put a subscribe button underneath for $5 a month, right? And then you build, in the website at the top, you build a calendar so it shows when the shows are on, what's live, you know, what's coming up in the future. And then basically you've got Twitch TV.
You know what? It would be a better version of Twitch TV.
Oddly enough. Potentially, because you'd have YouTube with its DVR. You wouldn't have to build an infrastructure to sell bandwidth to. YouTube Live would take care of it. If your YouTube Live network is big enough, like Machinima at the end of the day, you could then actually get a CBSI deal, which is the same as Twitch TV. Until then, everyone's on Google Ads, which is about 2 to 2.5 CPM. And then you just host the website Frame, which is, you know, with users and logins, and then basically you could build something that does what Twitch TV does with less hands-on. I'm going to do it.
Certainly do.
Yeah, seriously, what are you doing, man? Get off designing a game, go into competition with Twitch.
You start by launching your Good Studio website. Maybe that's the Good Studio website.
TV. See, this is why I could run IPL. I could do this.
Maybe you will.
They just flow. Unlike my...
Have you applied to Slasher's boss job?
What?
The head of esports at GameSpot.
No, I'm not into running kindergartens. But,
you just get headhunted.
Anyway. I am a bit of a dad here, but I get bullied here, man. Everyone's shutting down all my fucking ideas. Mainly because I'm focusing on Dota 2 tactics for the Red Pandas. I came up with one really good one, right? I was like, why not do Queen of Pain support instead of Venno? Because it's like a blinking Venno. You can blink and
it's like perfect.
No one bought it. Sing's not even bothering trying it. He told me I was going to die of retardation. So we're going to move on now.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
TV's launched. Good luck to them. Get your money up front if you're going to sign with them. Otherwise, Twitch are awesome until my website comes out.
Clearly. There's not a lot to it. But next up on the docket, we have AS Rock sponsoring SK Gaming, and we have a picture of MC's jersey to back this.
What's this?
So
Alex
Miller tweeted, I think, in January that they signed a new main sponsor for 2 years. Gonna reveal it in March, so Cebit, of course. And if you look at the shirt on MC, who's playing in Industry Masters, it's ASRock. Oddly enough for me is that I thought they were signing gaming gear.
Yeah, SteelSeries isn't there still.
No.
I know the LoL team is using SteelSeries logos on their shirts, though. I've seen so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But ASRock, I think they are the third biggest motherboard manufacturer. So it's actually a really big company.
Aren't they really low budget stuff though? I mean,
I don't think so.
I know they're owned by Asus, and they're basically the low budget brand for Asus.
Really?
It's the
I don't
second-rate
really
stuff.
think so.
I'm almost sure. Maybe Chat can confirm. But what I find interesting with SK is that they keep changing colors on their shirts every tournament or every
That
year.
they have done for so long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's seasonal, man. You know fashion. Come on. Clearly, you know
I
fashion.
mean, they have a sponsor who makes the Zanzibar.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they keep changing their visual identity. It's weird. If you look at us, we're always black and yellow. If you look at Fnatic, they're orange. If you look at EG, they're blue. If you look at, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
But I think white is their
Not
traditional
confusing,
one.
I guess, but it's, I don't know, it's odd.
Well, confusing or not, I think it's just a small thing that we can go ahead and point
And
out.
of course, Azubo also.
Yeah, so we can see how that shapes up in the future. We'll find out at Gamescom. The last thing that we have here in general news before we take our first break of the show is Slasher and DJ Wheat are bringing an esports panel to PAX East. Now, This made it in here, yeah. This
Weren't
made it in
they
here.
already in the panel like last week?
Yeah.
Oh, DJ Wheat was, I believe, and Slasher was actually as well.
Wheat didn't go, Slasher went, I think.
Well, we had
MIT one,
some
right?
problems.
Yeah, this is a different one.
Yeah, this is
a
PAX.
different one. PAX.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
it's
they
the
do this
past
every year, don't
esports in 2013, the past, the present,
I'll
and
click
the
it. I'll click
future.
it so we
yeah,
can
go
bring it up
ahead.
on my screen.
So we can show it there.
Screen intervention. Here we go. Esports in 2013. The past, present, and future.
I feel like
Nice
the Good Bad
Holy
Ugly has a
shit.
better ring to it.
Slasher and DJ Wheat are clairvoyant. They're going to be able to tell what's going to happen. Rod, lead esports editor, host, GameSpot, live on free. Marcus, esport and Viz Dev manager, host, Twitch TV, live on free. What is Viz Dev?
Isn't that like W? Like a wizard developer?
Viz Dev.
Something
It's
like
Wiz.
Viz.
He spends a lot of time
Wiz
playing
Dev.
Skyrim.
Just Google
He's a
Viz.
wizard. I'm a motherfucking wizard.
Oh, you can check real quick.
Yeah, oh, there's a Shoot Mania tournament there. Oh, that's
It's a
exciting.
biz dev. It's probably a typo. We found a typo on PAX's main website.
Yeah, I was thinking it should be
Biz dev
development.
managed. Yeah, exactly.
Biz?
Biz. He's in the biz.
Viz dev.
What exactly that
I'm
is?
in the business.
We don't know.
I'm in the viz-a.
Whatever. What are they going to be talking? What are they going to be talking about at this panel?
It doesn't really say.
Lizard developer.
It's.
Skip.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Is it sports?
Tune in, find out. It looks good.
Essentially.
I'm excited.
Let's see.
We are too.
But yeah, some of the other panels, if you guys are interested, you've got the D&D board game open play. That's not a panel. That's just something that's going on. What are the
Fighting
panels?
your inner demons.
Mega
Gamers dealing with
Theatre.
depression.
Sports gaming in the next generation. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like their panel is going to be in Naga Theater Sunday the 24th.
Naga Theatre.
Yeah,
Let's
they're going to
skip that.
sing you all to
All right,
sleep.
let's skip that. Blizzard Entertainment presents Final Fantasy Future of Online Games panel. So that's the first day. On Saturday, Minecraft, the story of Mojang. Some guy made a good game. Everyone else
Made
lives
monies.
off him.
I really like PAX Prime, so...
They're the last ones. The best of the last. 4 p.m. Oh, they're after how to play pinball. So make sure you tune in a little bit earlier, guys. Because at 2:30, it's how to play pinball. I've always wondered.
Is it one or two buttons? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, then you can tilt it. Yeah, you hump the pinball machine and
The
the shit
tilt.
happens.
That's where I learned all my good best sex moves on the pinball machine. Bit of slapping, kissing. Yeah, so check that out.
That's basically it. So yeah, guys, check that out if that interests you. Pinball, cool story. But we're gonna go ahead and take our first break of the show. When we come back,
Oh,
we'll
we
be
done for the
talking.
first part.
Yep, that's the first section.
Oh, well done,
My
everybody.
nose is itching all the time.
Yay.
But
Internet high five.
yeah, when we get back, we'll be talking about StarCraft 2. Unfortunately, as you all know, Apollo and IDBC are not here. That I am for the week.
They're doing
So-
a 5-day event.
5 days.
They
This
are
was
not
the first
looking
day.
forward to it, but they've gone anyway.
Apparently, IDBC and Apollo are living with an elderly couple in some village somewhere. So maybe they'll come back with some
That's
stories.
Hannover.
Seabit style.
Yeah, see that style, exactly. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Oh,
Oh, wow, that
Welcome
was
back.
quick. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Show here, episode 33.
How many people are we on the good show, Ningles?
What do you think? 4 again?
I reckon we're gonna have 5 kiddies.
You think 5? We gotta come up with new names, man. The whole process all over again.
Don't eat them.
She's too precious, man.
Alright, let's
All right,
continue.
let's
in
get into
StarCraft
it. We're at
yeah.
StarCraft 2
So
now.
We finished talking about IPL. They
Don't worry, we're not going back to it.
They cancelled IPL 6. We talked about Azubu Live, it's a new streaming website. Go check it out. See what you think about it.
Try and
now
find a
we're
live
moving into StarCraft 2 without Adabisi, so unknown territory here. We're all scared. Don't know how to do this. Let's try it.
Yeah, let's find out. So we'll feel it as we go. So basically, first up in StarCraft 2, we have Fnatic actually deciding to sign Sase
Yay!
again. Because he did play for them originally as a Night Elf in Warcraft 3, did well.
2005, I
left.
think it was his first professional team, so I wouldn't say that it counts that much. Fnatic back in 2005 wasn't really an established team that was like WoW and then a little bit Warcraft 3, but it's not the Fnatic that we know of now. But
well, don't take it away.
no, but I just mean like
You're just putting things in perspective.
yeah. But I think it's a really big sign, to be honest, signing. And Sase is like one of my favorites, been for a long time.
He's a Swede.
From the beginning said that he would win a major. He hasn't done it yet. I hope he can do it now in Fnatic. Although I don't know what has been wrong for him or why he hasn't really won anything. I still think he can perform. He's living in Taiwan now.
Yep.
Been with Gamma Bears. I don't know if I think he's gonna be in Taiwan still, but I don't know in which house though, or if it's gonna be at Gamma Bears.
I think it's an odd move. Like a couple of weeks ago, they announced they were gonna put more effort into Europe and have a European gaming house, and I mean focus on European players. And now they signed Sase, which, like you said, is gonna stay in Asia. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, but still, I think that he's still from Europe. He still has his fan base in Europe. He for sure has more fans than the other Koreans.
He won't be available for like PR stuff that much, and selling
That's
into
true.
events is going to be really expensive. And
Do you think it's really that big a thing though? Because we've talked about them moving away from the Korean market. They've shut down their Korean house. They've let go all their Korean players.
Yep.
They've kind of just taken a step back from that place, and now this kind of seems like a clear sign for them that they want to focus on Europe.
That was what they said when they closed down the house in Korea anyway. They said it didn't work out, we are going to focus on Europe. But actually a lot of the PR done by the video release of Fnatic was focusing a lot on Sweden. Obviously,
I love
Fnatic,
it. It was like a brilliant video by Card and the Fnatic team.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it already, you could probably find it. Easiest place to get it is rekacard.se. It's on the right hand side. It's probably at the top of the videos. And yeah, it's a good video. Queue it up after the show if you haven't already seen it. It's kind of nice that Fnatic did a better video than they normally do. The Moon release was pretty shitty when someone was just drawing it. And EG have stepped up their game with some great videos and bad ones as well. But it's good. But I just think overall we can just say it's a great signing. Glad to see Sase back with Fnatic. Think it's a good mix. And Fnatic have always been famous not only with their European players, but a lot of them, their Swedish players as well. And also, just to mention Hellspawn, don't ever grow your hair long.
Nice, look shit.
Because you look like this. Bring up my... I think that's your face, isn't it?
He looks like
I need to cut the hair really fast.
I mean, no offense. I look awesome on you. I look like...
You look constipated. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I also look like... what's it called? Like, we could be that Team Fortress 2 heavy. With that one. Look at that. On the other side, on the right-hand side, I look like some sort of druggy lesbian cross between that really cool actor guy that plays in... Golem. So your look right now, Hellspawn, is perfect. Leave it as it is.
That's not okay.
You look like a zombie out of The Walking Dead, to be honest.
I like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, no, but what's that actor that's he's in so many. I'm really bad for forgetting his name. The aeroplane when there's loads of convicts on it.
Yeah, Con with Nicolas Cage. It's the other one with the Popeye.
Yeah, the one who sits down with the kid at the end, and he used to be like a paedophile or something.
What is it, Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis?
Like a cross between him and a lesbian and something else.
I wouldn't say he looks like
And a
Steve
zombie,
Buscemi.
But you got some good in there, because he's cool.
I'm cool too. I
Steve
agree.
Buscemi? Apparently they're all saying Steve Buscemi, so maybe it was Steve
Andy
Buscemi.
Serkis or
Face to face.
Lesbian zombie.
Face
But,
off.
He's awesome. Mr. Pink, yeah.
Mr. Pink, yeah, dude. Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs.
But going back to it, I think that Sase is qualified for MLG. I think that would be the first try. I know that he played like 300 or 400 Heart of Sword games. I watched none of us stream 2 days or 1 day ago, and he was actually on Skype or something with Sase, so both of them are also talking a lot and seems to get along more than the era in Quantic in the end. So it seems like the guys are back on track. Would be cool if Fnatic pick up Nanova too and rejoin those two guys, because I think that they were good for each other.
Yeah, I'll turn into the Swedish task force. They're just going to lay waste everywhere.
Yeah, they were really good for each other. All right, then, so we move on.
So moving on, we had our positive news there for a moment. Now we're going to go into a little bit more of murky waters. Tyler/Noni leaves Liquid.
Who really cares?
I got to be honest.
This is a minor topic.
I mean, it's a non-issue.
I know, but even if it's like a minor topic on the show, it's like, okay, this guy that was on the Team Liquid playing team, is that what he's leaving? Or is he just He's done with Liquid. He's deleted his account.
He's done with Liquid, and he's gonna keep playing.
He
but
says
not
he's gonna
in
keep
Liquid.
playing. He's looking for his muse. He's looking for his motivation, and he says that
but he's been looking for his motivation for 2 years.
Well, that's kind of the thing. It's kind of just
not
like,
relevant. It's not,
I don't want to. That's the thing. It's like how it's hard to avoid the whole shitting on the guy at the same time because he just hasn't been performing for so very long. When there was so much hope invested in him that he would.
I think this is definitely something more to state of the game or Mike. But at the end of it, from our perspective, for people who look at everything, it's kind of like it's a blip. It's it's a nothing on the radar. So and he's a really nice guy, but at the end of the day,
it's them. It's not him.
I think this symbolize Liquid a little bit, that they picked up a lot of the old Brood War stars like April, like Tyler. I wouldn't say that Inro was a Brood War star, but the story I think is that a lot of their players haven't performed in 2012, except of Rhett and the Korean players, of course.
TLO now as well. I mean,
and then TLO came back in the end and seems to be stronger now in hot. So I hope he can keep it up. But I think that Tyler just have had a lot of personal issues, been stated a long time or several times. Also, I think he has. Like it came out on stream that he wanted to leave, but Victor convinced him to stay and so on. So I just think it's a sad story. Also interesting that Liquid is losing one more, so I think they need to sign more players. They signed Snute, but I think they have a kind of weak roster compared to before.
I mean, they've also had a weak roster outside of the Koreans. So they'll probably sign people for hot stuff because they need StarCraft. It's their only or almost only
Dota.
Game.
They are kind of big in Dota.
Yeah,
their team is doing good.
StarCraft is really big for them. So
I wonder what he's going to do. Was there any decent statements about what he's going to try
there was
and do next?
Well, I mean, there was a decent statement as far
statement.
he had his page-long thing where he had his say, and then Nazgul came in to say it. Something as well, but what it just basically boils down to is he's looking for his inspiration to keep playing. He's looking for that old drive, that motivation that'll keep him playing StarCraft 2.
But it's like being a pro gamer for so long. Sometimes it's really boring. I stopped being a pro gamer just because it's like it doesn't matter what game it was. It was the same challenges in terms of training regime, thinking, skill sets and stuff as any other game. You just have to have that kind of mindset and a long enough history with the game to be able to have the experience to get to the top, and it really wasn't that challenging. And in terms of it was very challenging to be the world's best at anything, but it wasn't that challenging in sense of you kind of know the formula, but it just wasn't as enjoyable. So I found myself after X years just being like, business side is kind of fun, or doing entertainment or content or commentary is different.
Yeah, I mean, same thing for me and a lot of the people in Dignitas that basically started Dignitas. I mean, people get bored after a while when you...
Because you used to be a Battlefield player, right, on Team Dignitas?
I used to be really, really good.
World's best.
Yeah. All right, then, so let's move on. So, I mean, he is a really nice guy, so to say we don't care is more or less about his career, not that we don't care about him, but it's kind of... It didn't really make a blip. Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of StarCraft 2, he was a big force.
So we can move into the next one.
We can go ahead and do that. You have it up on your screen.
Yeah, I was going to introduce it.
Exactly.
So MLG release brackets for Dallas. The event coming up at the end of this month, March. Their first Heart of the Swarm LAN.
The first was supposed to be the first until
Into Extreme Masters are currently doing one. We can bring up the brackets on my screen.
One thing to change is that Minigun, the first one in the top left that you're going to see, Life versus Idra Minigun, that's been decided. Minigun will be there. Idra will not be there.
Well, that's a good clarification, because I just figured that the American players weren't that good against the Koreans. And
so they needed two of them.
It was Life versus Idra and Minigun. Sorry, thanks for the clarification there. You never know with MLG.
I've got to say, I really liked the graphics of the MLG brackets.
Yep.
They're always very clear, always very well produced, always very professional. What I don't like about them is that they always remove the team names. It's so annoying. They give so little credit to the teams sending their players there, and that's why people stopped sending players to MLG as well.
That's an interesting
an interesting point, actually.
Yep.
Well, I would say that if you add the teams and you release this, then you come 1 week later, half of the players change the team, and then you're still just getting hate.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I would say that's one of the major reasons why you don't add it.
You could have a team icon next to everyone's name.
Yeah. I mean, look at Bly. Who does he play for? I know he's playing for Acer, yeah, but I mean, the average viewer.
How many players have you got in here, Newman?
None. I hope.
I hope.
None.
You have well, yeah, actually, no,
that's
you don't.
big.
I was about to say you have Killer, but
doesn't want to play 7 players.
No, I don't have one there, I think.
I don't really agree with you, Newman. I know what you're saying, but I don't agree.
I feel kind of bad for Bly, though, seeing as how his first opponent is going to be Flash. It's going to be pretty fun.
Has Flash been that... I'm in deep water now, but has Flash been that good in HOTS?
Not
Yes, fairly good.
fairly good, you'd say?
Of course, not like in Brood War, but
I'm
he's
guessing,
produced
yeah.
some good games.
I'm guessing Black's had a lot
His
more.
mid game is really impressive in the way that he seems to be behind in the early game, and then he just dominates, come with so many units, just run
So
over.
he has Hellspawn seal of approval, you'd say.
With your cheats enabled.
I don't know how it does it. Looks almost undoable.
Well, guys, that's it for MLG. They've released their brackets, so if you want to keep in
And
touch with
only
that, actually...
says they have 10 players from Dignitas at MLG, so I don't know.
Yeah, not in the StarCraft tournaments.
Well,
League of Legends.
leading
Yeah.
into
And-
it...
Two League of Legends teams.
You have 2 League of Legends.
Now we got
teams.
one team with 10 players. I think they're playing in 2 different tournaments.
Sorry.
what?
Did you talk about Flash Heart of the Swarm skills?
Yeah.
Well, I thought
That I don't know anything
exactly. I thought you were talking about Heart of the Swarm skills, and I was like, when did you see Flash play Heart of the Swarm?
No,
I haven't seen
I-
anything, really.
about. What's the difference of the game?
Doesn't really matter. He's just going to come in and dominate anyways.
But yeah,
Regardless.
it's something the brackets are out, but it's something definitely to look forward to. I actually always enjoy watching an MLG kind of broadcast. So let's move on to the next topic.
And, real quick, just to wrap things up, if you want to see who... the fleshing out of the bracket to the remaining matches, we saw that Idra and Minigun was decided and Minigun moved through, but there's going to be a match pretty much for the rest of the week, every night, for the rest of the week to determine the rest of the matches to come. So there are quite a few of them, about 4 or 5, so if you want to watch those, it's going to be, I'm sure, on the MLG channels. Up next, we actually have IEM that is going on this week. We had our first day today. As we said earlier, Apollo, IDBC, and also Trance are all there right now taking care of that. Some great commentating from Paul as usual and observing from IDBC. The results for the first day, however, are pretty interesting. And we can bring them up here on James's screen so that you can see them. So Group A, as we take a look at that. There we have it, Yonghwa. That was actually a lot of the talk of the town right now, is that Yonghwa has just dominated his group. He's dropped a single map in kind of what is a bit of a who's who group. I mean, you got Nurcho, you've got Parting, and Hasselhoff, Slipco, and then Lucifron also. Lucifron really having a pretty brutal time of it.
Lucifron at the bottom is very surprising.
I think both Slivko and Lucifron and actually also Hasselhoff, I would expect them to pick more games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it's especially after watching their games, they all played very strong games.
Yep.
Like there was a lot of games that could have gone either way.
Whoa. Group B is MC out of the tournament.
MC is out of
The reigning champion is out of the tournament.
Holy shit! He was the only person that did any PR for the whole tournament in the first place. Carmack did an interview with him. You see that?
Yeah, Red actually 2-0'd him too.
This is really, I wouldn't say surprising, but
I'd say
Red's someone
surprising.
that can definitely win any game, but also lose any game. If you know what I mean, you never really know. So that's really good for Red. I like.
I mean,
that.
looking at that group, it's surprising the MC isn't where Ret is, basically.
Yeah,
So
but this is an up and
it's
down
cool.
match, right? So second and third, because they're yellow, will be playing playing against another.
Well, what
group,
happens,
second
I
or
believe,
third,
is that
so
the
top two go through.
the top first ones that will actually go through, I believe, to the quarterfinals, straight through.
Yeah, should be.
And the rest of them are actually going to have to fight their way through, which was a lot of the drama today. Is Yoda and Rhett was one of the last groups, I believe the last match of the day, where it was to determine who was going to go through first, who was going to get that free pass to the next stage of the tournament. And unfortunately for Rhett, Yoda played masterfully and took him out. So
But-
it was a 2-0 win for Yoda, and he was able to
Did
play.
anybody watch the tournament thus far?
Yeah,
I
was
watched
watching
some
quite a
part
bit
of
today.
it, but not really following the games. It should be added, like, it's harder to swarm, so it's really hard to judge how each player played and how much harder swarm they played. For example, I think Parting is said that he cannot be in Pro League, so he's probably going 100% harder swarm since he left Startail. What I could see was that actually IM had really big problems from the beginning. They couldn't launch the games. I think it was the StarCraft server or something like that.
Something along those lines, I think.
So it was like 2 hours delay, more or less, I think, from the get-go. Also, the first day of CBIT is a press day, so it was like no audience at all. So for me, it felt really like, how to say, very slow, kind of boring to see it. It was long pauses, like I saw 20 minutes. I think also like the analytic desk didn't work out for me at all. I saw them talking on for like 20 minutes. I think that having 3 of them on one. No, but I think that having 3 of them on the same behind the disc doesn't look really good. I didn't think it felt good at Katowice. I don't think it feels good here. I think Eurostar did a good job though. And of course,
QXC and Harsum?
Of course, didn't really work for me in the same way. I think Eurostar kept it together though. I think the commentators, of course, are good, doing a good job.
Clarence without his
what's
beard.
really annoying
Does that
about
have your approval?
IEM tournaments at CeBIT is that they always do them at day, so you can't follow them at night.
Yeah,
It's really annoying. I mean, it must impact their viewing numbers a lot.
They have to close that event like every day, like
it's because they're doing it at CeBIT. So you have to stay till 6. Yeah, I mean, they have no choice, but
it's like good broadcast for Korean audience, and the Korean audience of StarCraft 2 is not like massive. So, but still, I think they had like 35 or 38k concurrent when I saw it, which is which is really good for first day. So it looks like a lot of interest for Heart of Swarm. I also think that a lot of people were like looking forward to follow a tournament finally, because they've been lack of tournaments past couple of months or month. So I think still it's like a good start for IM, and tomorrow League of Legends will start, so will be more going on and more hype, I think.
Do you know what I found the funniest thing? You know the overlay? It was BenQ purple.
Yeah.
I didn't like that kind of purple at all.
But I think it was BenQ purple. But just imagine how that has to come to be. You're talking to your sponsors, and they're like, I don't know about this tournament. You know, it's a lot of money you're asking for. It's really good and all. And I'd be like, wait. What if we make our overlay BenQ purple? And that guy's like, fuck yes.
Brilliant.
$2 million. The overlay's BenQ purple.
I'm guessing that's one of those things where someone at the graphic department basically made them purple just for, I mean, pleasing.
Would you say
sponsor.
shits and giggles?
No, not for shits and giggles, but basically just to please them in some way.
I
don't think there's a deal saying.
Apart from the fact that it looks
I don't know if it's really BenQ purple. It could be Heart of the Swarm purple. It could just be some like.
But it didn't look Heart of the Swarm purple though.
Yeah, I look BenQ purple.
I haven't seen it.
It's a lot of different purples, but I wonder if they have what they had between the stage and the first shares, because it looked like they had almost what's it called? I lost the word. That you spread as a surge, so you run faster.
Creep.
Yeah, it looked like they had creep between. Maybe it was the lights, but it looked like they had creep on the floor. Yeah, it looked really cool actually. But I think without audience, it was a kind of boring day. I think that Friday, Saturday would be the big days for IM for sure.
Of course,
especially Saturday.
Sorry, Mingo.
Yeah, normally you have like I don't know how many hundreds of thousands you have in that Intel hall, but last year and the year before, I think they had about 1 hour queue to get into the Intel hall where Intel Extreme Master is. So
yeah, and we should mention. I think we should mention League of Legends as well.
Yep.
Yes. Go for it.
A massive tournament for League of Legends at IM this year. This is the World Championship, so. I think if you look at the groups, you have a couple of different Korean teams, and SK is there, Evil Genius is there, Fnatic is there. Well, it's insane. And Gamut Gaming is there.
Just to say, we will be touching on LoL a little bit later in the show. We do have a LoL section planned out this time around. So,
can't we cover into Extreme Masters now?
We can just
do what you like, Hellspawn.
Yeah, Hellspawn.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it.
Interesting part is it's in the middle of LCS. And still they're keeping Koreans and Europe teams facing off. It's no North American teams, it's a Brazilian team. But I mean, I guess SK Telecom won, or I don't know who's will be the best. But the 4 Korean teams will be really strong. Yeah. Of course, Gambit and Fnatic are really strong also. I don't know.
Fnatic's going to be really strong. Gambit's going to be strong. EG just went 1-4 last week of the LCS. So I mean, they got comeback potential, I guess, but. I think it's interesting to see a Brazilian team there as well. The Brazilian LoL scene is really big.
Pain Gaming, is that the one?
Yeah.
And they did actually beat IM at their Brazilian event, and that was a really big thing for them. So that's interesting.
What? Did they win that?
No, they didn't win it, but IM won the Brazilian event, but Pain Gaming beat them in the
easy money. And they lost? Okay, cool. I thought it was just a walkover. Yeah. Anyway, I think tomorrow is only League of Legends for Interesting Masters. And then it would be...
no, there's going to be a group of StarCraft 2 today, tomorrow and after tomorrow as well.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry.
So, But that was one of the gripes that we had going into this, is that they did 2 groups today of StarCraft 2, didn't show all the games, which was kind of sad because there was quite a few good ones that I would have loved to see. And then the next following 2 days, they're going to have 1 group a day, so we're going to get to see a whole lot more.
Yeah, tomorrow is
So
Sting, Socket, Mana, Snute, Violet, Vortex.
which is going to be fucking sick. I mean, that's going to be an amazing group.
Yeah,
It's
for
going to be
sure.
interesting to see the League of Legends numbers because, I mean, they've had this LCS a couple of weeks now, and they've basically been averaging 120k or something like that. And I'm wondering if people are tired of LOL content, or if they're like,
Or if more wants more.
basically. Yeah, if more wants more, basically.
Well, I mean, 30k already is a pretty good average. Does it spike at all with like the big name teams? Not to say that I wouldn't know who is like TSM or something like that, for example. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the actual stats, but I know it's been averaging out 120.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think even more. I saw 150.
that's on
with
Twitch
TSM.
only though. I haven't seen YouTube numbers.
There's a
so
thing,
it could be
YouTube,
bigger.
and I was gonna say owned, but they're not around anymore. So YouTube, force to have it, you know. But okay.
But I think the crowd would be the biggest part with League of Legends in the CVT hall.
I think it's also worth mentioning whatever ESL are now going to do in League of Legends, they're going to have full Riot backing just because they run all Riot's European tour. So the fact is all the best teams are going to turn up to it, which they obviously have. And it should be a great tournament. So we'll leave it at that. Brilliant, guys.
Just mentioning one thing with the ESL is that it's really impressive. They're basically doing LCS in Cologne. They're doing this EMS thing at the same time. And now they're doing the World Championships. Like, I think they packed and unpacked in 3 days for this event. It's quite scary.
And it also should be said with Interesting Masters and StarCraft, I really like the infographics they did for the groups. Also like the interview that Carmack did with MC when he was like gangster style. Like MC, I almost missed him. Haven't seen him for a while, so that was a lot of fun, I think.
So moving on, Stefano qualifies for Code S. I think the last game he actually got a default win, right?
Yeah,
yes, because
for one of the
couldn't make
games.
it.
Okay, and of course he also mentions that staying in Korea is one of his worst experiences.
Yeah, but I saw the interview with Kaldor and Stefano, and I actually think it was a really interesting one. For example, Stefano got the wrong time, so he was in the shower when they were supposed to leave, so he couldn't brush his teeth or getting done, eat anything. So he had to play all these games and still qualified. And I think that Stefano is one of those guys that has such a big talent, maybe the biggest talent in World of StarCraft 2, and also have a championship mentality. He can bring out the best, even though he has worse conditions. Like WCS Europe Finals, which he won, he lost his baggage, so he didn't play with his gear. Still, he didn't drop a single game at all, coming up to the winner bracket semifinals or anything like that.
First day he showed up, he had like 2 hours of sleep and he didn't have his gear. And he just
because
dominated.
it was a delayed flight and stuff like that. So I think Stefano shows that he's really strong still, but he didn't like to stay in Korea this third time.
What did he actually point out why he didn't like it there?
I think Kaldor tried to say that the weather in Korea has been really bad the last 2 months, like they haven't seen the sun, or Stefano said he saw it once. But I think also that he's not able to speak French. He has a hard time communicate. Like he said that if Forsen hadn't been there, he would cut his wrists more or less, because he would have gone mental without having Forsen there. So I think that he didn't plan to be there for 2 long months. He was supposed to go to Katowice. He didn't in the end. So I think that also hurt him. And seems like Stefano is not that guy that needs to practice so much. He actually said going to tournaments is more important for me than practicing. I learn more. I increase my skill, and I play better if I go to a lot of tournaments.
But you do if you go to tournaments. That's the whole point. It's like if you're a seasoned tournament player, every time you go to a tournament, you have a massive advantage over someone that's missed that tournament and then not been to the one before. It's like how you play at tournaments and the actual what you bring to the game is so much different than practice games. Dude, seriously, practice games don't mean shizzle.
Yeah, but if you as a meta game is changing, at some points you need to reswamp your game.
Yeah,
and that's hard when you go into tournaments.
You play practice games, but the more tournaments you get into, they just count for so much more.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, but still, I think that the pace and how many tournaments there have been in 2012, there's been too many. I don't think that missing some of them will make you a worse player. And I think that
but
traveling, you
way.
lose so much practicing time and focus time, and it's, you know, it comes back to your body after a while, I would say. So,
I just think that, like, sitting at home and practicing instead of going to a tournament and getting that experience, you might as well, going to a tournament and getting the experience is worth a lot more, even with the travel and all that stuff. You don't have to win every tournament, but the fact is, if you're not there and you're not playing the highest level of gameplay and you're not getting experience from people doing X, Y, Z builds, then whatever. But of course you need some time to work, with StarCraft being a different game than like I was ever playing, but yeah, you need some time to work on builds and strategies and stuff. But I just think tournament experience is huge. Let's move on. The reason why he doesn't like it as well
is what I said. So.
It's what we said, exactly. Without Thorzane, he would have been in the sticks.
Okay,
but
so
I just think that Stefano is like impressive.
Okay, Western Wall sort of to head back to Korea to train with New Star
Hoseo.
It's where Morrow was and was practicing also. Yeah. And I think they had some other Western players. Well, it's this university kind of thing that they have, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's returning there.
So sort of going back to Korea. Brilliant.
But it should be said though, I think that the last part of 2012, I think sort of was this player that was really up and coming and was defeating a lot of big names. Then he fell off in the end of it, and I haven't seen anything of sort of for a long time. So interesting part to go to Korea now, I would say.
Yeah, it's an odd move. I mean,
it's really odd.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's interesting, but I also think it's a good step. It's a good step for him to be active again, seeing as how he kind of dropped off the map for a while there. So glad to hear something about him and that he's doing well, that he's got things moving in his direction. Another thing to mention, actually, that's just come up is that the developers for StarCraft 2 are going to be hosting an AMA in about 23 hours now. You can find that over in our StarCraft. And our AMA, obviously. But yeah, devs are going to be holding an AMA. So if you have any questions for them, HOTS, Wall, tournaments, esports related, definitely post them there.
Yeah. Last show during the same time was the release of The Vengeance. I liked the hype that Blizzard generated, but I didn't get the hype. I think that it was like the same movie all over again with some strange storyline. Although I think I didn't see the show where they had the talks on Twitch TV, but I think it was kind of big. Yes. I don't know.
Also, Western Wolves, we actually, you know the Street Fighter player?
Infiltration, world's best player, without a doubt.
Left Western Wolves.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But I wonder if he's going to join Mad Cats. Like, they have Daigo, they have...
Right, the official team.
Who else?
They have Tokido.
Tokido, yeah. And one more player, I think.
It's not Mago, it's...
I don't know, but
on the last one.
I think Loth also left Western Wolves. So, I mean, Infiltration is beyond insane in Street Fighter. He's won so many tournaments, and the way that he won EVO last year, just impressive. He keeps going. He just keeps going. So, I guess that Mad Cats won't release him, and it's like it felt like Mad Cats gave the money to Western Wolves to sign Infiltration and so on, and like, you know, having a good team.
So got a little Team Mad Cats thing going on, like Team Racers got, or Racers got Team Racers basically.
I'm trying to figure out, Semmler, what are Blizzard doing on that doing this game? Like, can we? Is this what they're doing? Blizzard? Is this their game?
Arma?
Yeah.
Arma?
Is this?
I guess, maybe.
I'm not following now.
He's taking a jab at the fact that I pronounce it as AMA, an AMA. So okay, we're gonna say it this way. Blizzard StarCraft devs are doing an AMA. Ask me anything in 23 hours time over in that section on Reddit.com.
Well,
so if you want to get information, go there. But Armed Assault. I think you want to pay attention more to the second iteration of the game.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Just gonna say I'm back to DayZ. It's fucking even better than ever. Like,
go check out DayZ if you want to check out Arma.
I like the excitement that I get and the adrenaline rush I get from a DayZ. It's nothing compared to like the best games I ever played in Quake 2 when I was like really good. Best HPV team ever in Sweden, more or less. And then Counter-Strike the same. Like they said, the adrenaline rush is just crazy.
I want to ask you something real quick. What is, have you tried SimCity yet?
Oh, no,
I want to see that.
Oh, dude, it's a really good picture.
They fucked up the release of SimCity, did you hear?
Wait a second. I'm showing Semmler something funny.
Oh, I got it.
Here you read how to beat James in Dota 2.
How to beat James in Dota 2.
The most asked question on
It's
Yahoo
not hard.
or
You sit
Ask.
back, you farm, and you wait for him to throw.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, actually.
Basically it.
Okay, so let's talk about where we're going now, because Blizzard are doing an armed assault, right? I've got that far. And then
24
that's
hours.
it.
that essentially wraps it up. It's been a very light
So
week.
you want to talk about SimCity? I want to talk about SimCity.
I want to ask you what you thought about SimCity, seeing as how you were the one who was talking about it so much.
I played the beta, or like 1 hour beta. I really liked it. I think they fucked up the release now because it's released today, but in Europe it's in 2 days. So it's really confusing. And also I heard like the American service has crashed, or like it was really
crashing
hard.
repeatedly. There was
Or you
something at the
couldn't
top
even
of Reddit
buy
that
the
was
game
saying-
because they were out of products, even though it's digital.
How is that not a normal launch? Oh, for EA.
Yeah.
I mean, surely it's gone better than expected. People handed over their money.
Well, I think it's such
a great launch
it's
for
a super
EA.
duper game, to be honest. And I think Tomb Raider was also released today. So
Tomb Raider, yeah.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Oh, I watched.
Raider.
Yeah, I watched Weapons play Tomb Raider.
He said it was really good on Twitter.
If you're going to play a game where you have to follow a character around in third person, you
With
might
the
as well
ass.
play a game with a beautifully
Short shorts, is all I'm saying.
good environment and
Good view.
yes. But yeah,
I just want to add
What?
the launch of SimCity. How did the launch of Diablo 3 go? You remember?
I just remember that I got in first. Out of
Wasn't
everybody
it kinda
spamming in
good?
the house, I won that race.
It was fucking 2 hours or 3 hours, like we fucking sat there.
Yeah, even I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 3 hours is nothing.
Wasn't this like 7 hours or something?
Did you
Wasn't
play
this-
World of Warcraft on release?
I was about to say that as well. Every fucking expansion of World of Warcraft, even the normal release.
Everything
Yeah, but
died.
you know, SimCity, you
Why is
don't
everyone
need to play
spamming Tomb
online
Raider?
with that kind of game, so I don't even understand
And
the
it's
problem.
online only.
I know,
It's
but
fucking stupid.
how can it be a problem?
No, yeah, stop.
I want to read this.
Oh, that's really, that's
You're my
Futurama for
hero
you.
now. I'm gonna be just like you. No, EA, stop. Your online distribution service is too limited. It can't work. I'm just like Valve. I'm just like crack. No. Yeah.
Have you seen that movie with the boat, the EA boat?
All I can picture now is Kunka saying, that was a fail boat.
Okay, no, it's like a perfect movie. I think it's made of some about the view of EA and Valve.
Uh-huh.
You should check it out on YouTube. It's like
Okay.
maybe one of the best movies ever.
All right. So I think that wraps up our StarCraft 2 segment.
Pretty
No
much.
one noticed Mike was missing.
SimCity.
Mike's probably watching. Hello, Mike, by the way. Hope Germany's treating you great.
He's probably eating some good cooking, man. Elderly couple taking care of them.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go to CBIT. People just let you in their homes.
Mm.
Obviously, you pay them.
Shit
And
ton of
then,
money.
Well, money. Respect.
So let's go for another break. And then when we come back, we'll be doing the Dota 2. A lot more news in Dota 2 lately.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't spend an hour talking on it.
Probably will.
But some good stuff. How's the week been for you guys anyway in terms of news? For me it's like IPL, everything else.
I keep following LCS a lot. It's easy to follow from work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, I think there's all the side content being produced by different people for LCS.
What
is
do you
really
say
good.
at work if someone sees you watching LCS?
Doesn't matter. Got 2 screens.
Sweden.
I mean, it's
No one
it's on in the
complains
back.
at my
It's
job.
not like I'm watching it like this.
Rub it in.
Yeah.
It's all in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the IAM on a 42-inch TV watching all the day.
I am.
Right.
It's
Taking
easy when your
notes.
team wins a lot as well. It's
Yeah.
easy watching.
We
Right,
are
so
always
we'll come
winning.
back with Dota 2 and then we'll be moving into other games and see what's going on with them. Some Quake stuff as well. Some good tournaments actually for there. So we'll be back in just a moment.